Okay, so Anne, you have your daughter and your son living with you.
Yes.
And why are they living with you?
Well, my son, he had spinal meningitis when he was little, and mentally he cannot, even though he can learn things that can be done repetitious, he's not really able to handle his life quite the way most people do.
Okay, so he's obviously indirectly handicapped in
yes,
a certain area here.
My daughter, he lived with her for a while, and she took him to professionals and had him analyzed and got him to go through grade 12, and she helped him. It was a tough time, but at least he was able to function a lot better.
Okay, now your daughter. How come your daughter's living here at this time?
Well, she was hospitalized in Saskatchewan, and they were going to put her in a care home, or they were charging almost $2,000 a month for just her being in this home, and she's decided that she wanted to be able to come out here and
be with her mom.
Get prayer and she asked also for prayer, and I knew right away that I had to get her out here, because she's you might say like in a trap. She would have been there probably the rest of her days if I had.
Okay. So it was very difficult.
Very pressing and very difficult.
Yeah, it must have been very overwhelming for you at your age to go through all the legalities and fine print to get her out of the hospital and get her home here with you.
Yes, it was.
And then financially, you had to carry the burden there.
I had to carry the burden right up until right now, because...
so there wasn't any assistance at all, none?
They were fighting it all the time, and she had to go through a tribunal and everything else, and she was told that she was totally incompetent, and yet she did all of this paperwork and everything her own self, and she's definitely not totally incompetent.
Yeah, I've met her. I think she's doing very well, and I think that she's very capable of achieving and accomplishing great things and living a normal life with a little bit of help and encouragement. Now, financially, you've had to shoulder all the burdens and responsibility for your daughter, for your son, to keep this house warm, to keep the lights on, to put food on the table. So you've pretty much been the caregiver and the provider for every need. And you're on a fixed income yourself, so it's been must have been very stressful and overwhelming for you.
Well, I was fortunate enough to have a nephew that's a financial manager that has put me in the Manulife people, and they've helped me a lot to keep things balanced. Otherwise, I would have probably lost the property.
Yeah.
You know.
So obviously there has been a little bit of help, and some people have complimented your situation to a point.
Especially good advice.
Mm-hmm. But obviously, there's not enough steam in the engine to keep the vehicle moving here, and to keep things moving in the right direction. So that's why we need community care. That's why we need people to get involved, roll up their sleeves, open up their checkbook, or tradespeople to come in and to complement this family in this home, and to bring some quality change in this home and family, right? And this structure as well. So that you see that your house needs a lot of repair, a lot of upgrade, a lot of work.
Yes.
And even your daughter can't sleep in the one room because it's cold, it's uncomfortable. She doesn't even have a bed to sleep on. Is that right, Anne?
Yes.
Sleeping on a mattress on the floor, and I don't think that's right. And I think she needs a nice room, a bed, and just the basic necessity. And food-wise, you people don't. Obviously, you're not eating steaks every day. You're just barely getting by.
We've been very, very blessed as far as getting a lot of things given to us, and we do go to the food bank every other week.
Yeah.
And in order to keep things going here.
So a little bit.